So actually we're live now. Let's wait until some people get in and then... I mean, you may actually mention in your chat that...
Yeah, I'm going to.
Ah, you're going to, okay, that's cool. So at least they can see that it's actually happening and it's not that I'm having a random person naming it Manong or something. Here we go! What's up, Toad? Emerald Knight! And everyone, Equalizer. Let me introduce and welcome our buddy Manong, the real Manong, the Pokemon Shiny streamer that I've been following for ages and ages. No, I think for a year or so. And I think he's always been a huge role model when it comes to shiny hosting, and now we got him live. Welcome, my friend. Welcome.
Hey.
Nice to have you here.
Welcome, everyone.
So actually, the whole community finally has a chance to check you out and have a chance to ask you about, I mean, your life with shiny hosting. And we actually started to have some chit chat already, so I thought, hey, why not starting right off and answer some questions of the community, or yeah, answer them right away. So where did we stop? I think we stopped at Diamond, Shining Pearl. No, what was it again? I always missed them up.
Pearl and Diamond.
Yeah, Pearl and Diamond.
Remake.
The remakes, exactly. How do you think about them? And hi, Jason Derulo, Ariel May, Equalizer, and everyone. What do you think about the remakes? So you mentioned that you don't think they're not going to survive for too long. I totally agree with you here.
No, I mean when I look at the trailer, it seems like I'm playing a version 10 of a 3DS where the graphics are a lot nicer, but it seems like I'm still looking at a 3DS like I'm looking down on it, you know. Everything looks nice, you know, as far as colors and everything, but
it feels like you're on the wrong version or something, right? Playing the wrong game or something.
Well, you know, if it comes out where you could pan and tilt, you know, see it just like what we see in Sword and Shield, you know, when we go to the wild area, you know, go look up, look down, and look sideways and do stuff, that'll be great, you know. But if you're just looking at it like a 3DS version, nice graphics, that's not going to last.
Yeah.
But hopefully some of the features that comes out of it, like be able to move stuff from, you know, one game to another, like move it to home and then from home to Sword and Shield and vice versa, and all the other games that are coming out, that'll be beneficial, you know. So you should be able to use your one Pokemon in many versions of the game.
I think this is exactly what's gonna happen. It's just gonna stay for a very short time, so people will have something new to play with, and it will be all about, you know, importing some mons into your game, and that's all, or into your home, and that's all. So yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting, and you know, to try out a new game that obviously some people never tried like I did, never played it before. So it's like a travel into the past that you kind of missed out, but I think it's not going to hold for too long, especially with that graphics.
When did you actually start playing Pokemon?
When I was 10, I think, or 11. That's kind of 19 years ago. What about you?
Yeah.
When did you start?
Well, I got 2 grown kids. So
Oh.
back when Game Boy Color came out.
Okay. That's a bit
So-
after me. So you started after me.
You know, and I never stopped since. I mean, my kids stopped playing, you know, after a while. I just kept on playing.
Right. So I think Game Boy Color.
Well, there were years that I didn't play at all, you know, but I keep coming back to it. So whenever there's a new console or something like that, and I decide to get it, the first game I would buy is like a Pokemon game.
Right. Totally agree with you here. Totally agree with you. No matter what it is, even if it totally messes up.
Mario, Zelda, those 3, you know, because that's what I grew up with.
Right.
So,
Actually, the community, Jason Derulo asks, what made you host Shiny Dens in general? Why? Yeah, what made you do it?
oh, well, like I was saying, you know, I just wanted to get back to the community and, you know, learn. You know, I learned from other streamers, and when I found out it was that easy to go do, well, find out it was that hard to go do the first couple of manual times.
Totally agree with you. And you know, all that messing up and...
And then when I found out there was other tools that you could use to make it a lot easier,
Right.
that's when I really got into it and, you know, decided to start hosting.
Right.
You know, hosting with one Switch, and then next thing you know, I can't use that Switch to play the game itself.
Right.
So I had to go invest on the second Switch, you know, so I could play a little bit and do more stuff, and then I put that in the stream. Then you buy another one, you know. So it just kept on, you know, moving up and getting bigger.
Right. Yeah, man. Totally agree with you. It's kind of strange how it kind of stayed alive, right? It never made. You never found a way out of it, kind of that hype, since it's like an ongoing hype, and shiny hosting just seems to not ever get boring for the people. It keeps the game alive when the story's over, and you know the people who say I'm not such a competitive player, it gives you a chance to just stay there, right?
Okay. Yeah, that's very true. I mean, you know, when Sword and Shield came out and be able to stream, you know, shinies and all that, you saw that the DS community or the really took a dive, where you saw all these people doing walkthroughs. You know, you had streamers doing walkthroughs. That's all they did. You know, one day they'll do, you know, sections of the game. Now that's all in the past. It's all about live streaming. You know, I mean, I see people do walkthroughs of, you know, Sword and Shield, but it's all about, you know, interacting with the community, because you couldn't really interact while you were trying to do a walkthrough.
That's so true, man.
You had a person just talking, you know, reading the you know, whatever was showing up in the screen, and then chapter 1.
You really have to concentrate on what you're doing and not messing it up. You can either be someone who always messes up and always loses, and talk with the community, or the other way around. But you cannot be a pro gamer and talk with the community. It's not possible.
No, it's not. So I think that's the difference between the old way of how they stream, because it was just to me it was just like a live video, and then they cut it, and then they edit it, and it gets posted.
Right.
I mean, you saw some of these guys, you know, had big following. But nowadays it's a little bit different as far as how people stream.
Right.
You know, there's just different ways of doing it. You know?
So how long do you think will this shiny hosting, let's say, ongoing trend continue? I mean, it's been a year now, and people are still here, still watching.
Well, I've been doing this for about a year and a half, you know, since I started, and people before me has been on there for a year before. So it's been about 2.5 years, you know.
Yeah, you're
It'll,
definitely a father of
it'll be
shiny
there for
hosting.
a while. It definitely. I mean, when new stuff comes in, you know, because it seems like this is Sword and Shield would be the only way to easily get stuff compared to, well, we don't know yet what's going to come out with these new games, you know, in the lineup. How easy will it be?
Right.
Because just like the raid the max layer setup, we cannot host. You could host it, but you cannot lock it where you could keep on giving or keep on hosting it for other people, especially if it's shiny, because you don't know if it's going to be shiny.
Right.
You know? There's no determination. There's no the codes, or nobody, you know, no one's broke it yet, and you know, giving us the way to do it and start hosting it. Because if that happens, you know, you'll have live streams of people, you know, hosting max layers all day long.
Yeah, I think this is never gonna happen, unfortunately. Well, which is also kind of cool thing, because it still makes, you know, those very rare mons very enjoyable. But can we live from? I mean, can we go on with shiny hosting forever, or will there be something new that people can enjoy as well? This is the question I ask when it comes to automated streaming, you know.
Probably it'll be there for a while because there are new players coming online, you know, so often.
It's alright. Jim Hoot said, this is kind of weird. 2 of the people I use in one stream now. So, actually, what made you get in touch with me anyway? I think we've never met in any chat, right?
Yeah, we have. I've spoken to you a while back. I mean, when I was first not streaming or anything like that, I subscribed to you, but then I said, man, I can't understand him. He's talking in German half the time. And then, you say a little bit in English now and then, but you know, you weren't fully speaking in English. It's like, man, you know. Yeah. I've been a subscriber before I was a streamer on your
Wow.
stream.
I didn't even know that. How do you think about this, guys? I didn't even know that. Didn't know that he was behind me for so long. No, that's really cool, man.
And I think you only had like one Switch back then.
Yes, right. I started off with one Switch, and then I saw people are always complaining that they are not, it takes too long to join in, and waiting to get added and stuff. And they got kind of bored pretty fast from just one single den. So I said, okay guys, when we hit that sub goal, I don't know what it was, I think 50 or 100 or something, then I'm gonna go for a second Switch. And that didn't take too long, and I got a second one. Yeah, and then eventually there was the third one. I thought, okay, the third one is just gonna be for myself. Eventually it wasn't.
Yeah, I got a Switch Lite where it's still not running anything right now. I mean, it was hosting, but it wasn't doing any random codes or anything like that. It was a static code, and I was hosting that for a long while I was waiting for another Switch to be available. And what I'm probably gonna do with that one is make it my background delete friend codes, rather than, because right now I have to take down one of my switches to
play.
To actually delete friend codes for any of the other, for any of the 3. So I have it all. One of my switches have all 3 accounts on it, and I could use that to delete friend codes.
That's really smart. That's really smart.
But the only thing, I mean, I have that in my Streamlabs to tell everyone, to delete yourself because it is a bot. You don't have to wait for Ness or me to add you to the friend codes or anything like that. Once you're done, delete yourself and others, so it doesn't get full. Because the problem is to delete at least with my bot, to delete 300 friend codes takes 1 hour.
Yeah, or longer.
So if I have to delete three different switches, that's 3 hours of downtime, which whatever I'm hosting on that den will be down for 3 hours. And at that point, people leave and go somewhere else.
Right.
What the streamers are trying to do is try to keep people in.
Right. And then another issue is always that bots or our bots that we're using are not using that computer vision, so they cannot recognize when the friend list is full or when there's any friend request. He just does what you tell him to do, but he cannot, there's no AI behind that says, okay, but when the friend list is, there are not any friend requests, then it shouldn't delete people anyway. So it should always keep, space for 3 people, so you can receive friend requests, right? But if there are no new friend requests, then no need to delete people anywhere, right? And unfortunately, our bots are not able to do that. So you always have to keep an eye on it, always to keep it in slow speed of adds and deletes in order to avoid that your friends lists are empty when you're coming back from work or something. Do you feel that as well?
Well, I know some streamers, like I said, that they have a different switch or something like that on the background where they're running maybe 4 or 5 different switches. That one switch has all 5 accounts and it deletes from the background. So they basically delete from top up. Because I believe the top sections of your friend list are the oldest, and then the bottom ones are the newest, I think.
Yeah, I think it's not. I think it's the other way around. So
either way. So what they do is they would take, because you could set up your bot to delete 50 friend codes at a time, or all 300.
Right.
But I set it for all 300. But they'll just set it for 50, before they leave or a set time, because it's in the background. So no one's gonna complain if they got deleted from the friends code.
Right.
They just re-add themselves because it is a bot. You just wait one turn, and then you get added the next turn. So having it delete maybe 50 at a time if you have many switches. After that, do it again, 8 hours later or something like that. So it just depends on how you want to set it up. Depends on how busy your site is.
But isn't it also still an issue that there will still be, in case of a new den, there will always be people trying to add you, but your friend list is full? Even after deleting 50 people? Or your friend list gets empty too fast?
See, the good thing with doing it off of another switch is that you don't have, while you're searching for a den or while you're hosting, you don't worry about people getting added or deleted because it's doing it in the background. See, the only thing, the one thing I wish, because is that if we could just go into our Nintendo account and say delete our friends list, because your friend code is tied into your account.
That would be so awesome,
be able to
really.
go in there and just click on one button and, delete. Or delete 50 of them, or 100 of them.
That would be so cool, really. But I wonder if they're ever gonna do that. That would make life so much easier, really.
Or like the other platforms, like I think a a PlayStation could hold 1,000. You know, Nintendo only holds 300.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
People would
I
think
don't get it
that.
either.
I don't know where the 300 friend code came about. Yeah. So I wish it was be much easier just to delete friend code. Because manually, when I did it the first time manually, it took me 3 hours.
Right. Yeah, right. And you have to do it over and over and over and over and over again.
And that became a pain in the butt.
Yeah, totally agree with you, man. Totally agree with you. I was always wondering why. I mean, they can track everything. Every function that they developed, they can track them all. So, did they never notice that when people are playing Pokemon, the numbers of deletes are too high sometimes? So there obviously must be a lack of friends, friend space in the friends list. I was always wondering that.
I think if the communities actually, just start writing Game Freak. Because Nintendo,
Right.
maybe they'll listen to this because it's not just for Pokemon. It's for that's for any game that uses a friend code or multiplayer game.
Right.
So it's set on 300. It's not based on just Pokemon. So if you're playing Smash Brothers, you can only have 300 friends code.
Right.
It's a Nintendo. It's not a Pokemon issue.
Yeah, right. You're totally right. Of course, it's a Nintendo issue. I think there are plenty of games where, 300 friends. They kind of fill up very fast when you're an active Nintendo Switch player, right?
Correct. If you're, a streamer or whatever, it's probably just a handful because not everybody has 300 friends.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
If you're just a player, you can only have like maybe 20, 25 people.
Right.
You're not gonna have 300 friends, but for the streamers like us, that becomes an issue.
Right. By the way, you said that you what's that name of your device again? Could you show it to the community again that you're using for modding? And I will show my own. This is this one here, the Titan 2. This is what I'm using for automating the hosting of shiny dens. And you have obviously a totally different device. I've never seen that. I think this one costs 10 times more, but the functions are exactly the same.
This is an $11 device in Amazon. Well, this is a clone of this device, which is the original Arduino board itself.
Uh-huh.
I bought a case for it. I have a case for it. I just haven't assembled it yet. But the difference with this versus Ness's is he just has to hit a couple of he has multiple programs running on that one board. This is basically you program it, you use it,
and that's
then
all.
when you want to do something else, you reprogram it to do that whatever.
Okay, that's not
else.
cool at all.
Yeah, so,
that's not cool at all.
But I have like 7 of them. So one is marked for friends delete, which is still probably 2 times less than what he paid for his.
Right.
After having 7 of them, because well, for yours, right? When you have to program the skip days, you still have to program it, right?
No, there's game. How do you call that again? A game pack configurator. So I have a, you can configure it. So it's not just code only, but you can configure it in in a special front end for Pokemon Go. No, for Pokemon Sword and Shield. Let me just take that moment to greet the community. Hi Basil, Super, Reina Quintero is here also from your stream. And they are also greeting you, everyone, and frequently mentioning
hey Eric.
Mentioning you and commenting on our discussion. So guys, what other questions would you like to share with our dear Manong here? I know we are very early. Actually, I intended to co-stream way later, but it seemed that Manong and me both have found a good time for that, and luckily we just started right off. Super is asking how we actually doing. Doing great. How are you, man? Why are you looking so sad?
Great.
You good?
Yep.
Oh, awesome. So, tell us a little more about yourself if you don't mind. Because I think people hardly get a chance to get in touch with you in your streams, right? I think I've never seen you live or heard you live.
They see me talking there, now and then on my screen. But they know I lurk all the time.
You're lurking all the time.
I got so many mods in my stream that it's being taken care of, and I'm proud of the mods there.
Yeah, it's all about the mods. It's all about the mods. So big shout out to the whole mod community out there. To every mod.
Yeah, it's what they especially like. I don't know. I mean, in my stream, like I was saying earlier, there are a lot of new players out there because there's a lot of them that don't even know how to add a friend code or how to do link trades or anything like that. Like they're saying that's their first time. And I don't know if my mods are seeing that, but I see it. Questions being thrown at the stream, when they first join.
I think this also might be because of the crisis. So there are so many people at home these days trying to get some devices or anything that you can do at home because you can hardly go outside in this period, and in order to avoid to get totally crazy, you better find activities that you may do at home, and which better than Nintendo Switch? And which better than Pokemon Sword and Shield on Nintendo Switch, which is actually pretty active still. There's still plenty of people playing it. There's still a lot you can do. There are competitors, there are new events, there are shinies. You can do trade with others. You can fill your Pokédex. You have a huge active community like Reina, Dragon, Fernando Campos, Wide, FZ Super, and we got the big streamers like you and like A-Drive and HTV and Austin John Plays and Blaines and all those guys still playing it. Still a lot of people watching, although the game is yet not the newest year, So I think it's very new gamer friendly, I would say.
Well, when COVID started, I don't know in Germany, but at least here in the US, there were no consoles available. So people were not playing Pokemon, there were no new players for at least 6 to 8 months in the US at least.
That's intense.
You cannot find a console, so all the games were losing money because there was no consoles being sold.
Interesting. Because
there
was no import, right?
No, until December. December I noticed they had like Animal Crossing, edition Switches. Yesterday I went to Best Buy to buy this headphone. They had Switch Lite at least, available, but there were consoles available.
That's so intense, man.
Yeah, that's why maybe I'm seeing more new players out there because now they have a console, and now they have a new Pokemon game, right?
Right.
And now they're starting out. But for the last at least 6 months, there were no consoles available, so there were no new players. That's why you saw the same old players day in and day out in our stream, because there were no new consoles and no games being sold
Right.
to actually play. And now that's what I'm seeing right now, is we're seeing more new players out there because consoles are beginning to be readily available.
Right.
So.
But that's an intense. I didn't know that it was so severe there in the USA.
Oh, yeah, people were selling it for $600 for a console.
It's really crazy. Really crazy.
Used Switches were going on, at least on Craigslist, for $400. Used.
I think it wasn't that intense in Europe. Yes, I remember there was some outage, that there was some huge hype for like games like Ring Fit. No. What was the name again? Yeah, Ring Fit, of course. And I think also of Sword and Shield. But I didn't hear about the Nintendo Switch outage, or maybe I just forgot.
Well, it's the same thing for PlayStation 5. Right now, you can't find it. Still can't find it. You know, what, 4 months later after the big hype during, Christmas? It's gonna be, probably till next Christmas that's gonna be readily available.
Right.
Or, just see it, like, on the shelves.
So, do you think those new players are actually mainly Americans who were waiting for their devices for so long, or...?
From what I understood, it was worldwide, because Nintendo couldn't build them fast enough, or there was shortage of parts because COVID, so, and materials, stuff like that. But it had an effect on pieces of it.
Right. So, what do you think are those 3 top things that the Pokemon Company is gonna keep us very excited about this year? What do you think are, or for you, what are the 3 top Pokemon products or events or whatever that you're really looking forward to this year?
Well, it's not going to be Diamond and Pearl. Maybe like you were talking the other day, it'd probably be Arceus, because that's a totally new thing. But basically the Diamond and Pearl is just a teaser for us until they get to the new one. Also, I would hope that Pokemon Home can unite all the other games and make it more transparent, so we could just move stuff around.
Right. I think also when it finally came out, finally, I couldn't believe it, and they said it's gonna connect to Pokemon Go as well, and to Sword and Shield, and to Let's Go, and to whatever. I was like, this can't be, and this can't be. I didn't want to believe it, really. And then I've seen that there were so many issues for a very long time, and I knew, right, this was actually the case also for Pokemon Go. There were like millions and millions of people going into that little tiny server all at the same time for the first time. So yeah, I think this is gonna be like that for a couple of months, and eventually Pokemon Home, I think, really became an amazing product, same as Pokemon Go back then or until now, since I'm still a big Pokemon Go fan.
Well, Pokemon Home, when it first came out, it had like what? Every other day was being updated, especially on my phone.
Yeah, right.
There was an update every day. I log in, you get an update, Right. And the big hype is, I wasn't reading reading it that well was I went into my 3DS, my Ultra Sun, took all my Pokemon, right? About 100 of them. I started putting in my Master Balls on each single one to hold, right?
Right.
Then moved it over to Pokebank, right?
And the Master Balls were
And
back
then waiting,
in your...
right? Yeah, and then it's still there. And then as soon as I moved into Pokemon Home, gone.
Yeah.
Oh my!
But not completely, right?
Man.
I think it got back into the game, right?
No, you just lose it.
Really? I think in Sword and
Yeah.
Shield, I think they returned back to the game. I could swear that it was that case.
Well, the other way around, when you were moving it from Pokebank to Home,
Yeah,
you just lost it.
Ah,
I'm
dang
like,
it!
oh, man, because you only get one Master Ball, right?
Right.
In the game, right? Okay, I'm gonna move, 100 of them. Yay! I don't have to farm for
Oh no! Sounds like a nightmare.
Man, when I moved it, oh man, I lost all that time moving it, attaching it. It's a waste of time.
Right.
It's hours.
Oh dang it!
You learn.
So, what are the games that you currently play besides Pokemon Sword and Shield?
I haven't really played anything. I got new games. What game? I got Zelda right here. I got Pokemon Let's Go that I haven't played yet. It's all wrapped up.
Really?
Let's Go. Yeah. I've had that for so long.
Oh no!
But what actually got me playing Pokemon Sword and Shield was one day I went to Costco. It's like a warehouse type of center, just a big warehouse, and they had Pokemon Sword and Shield bundle.
Yeah, right.
I said, okay.
I got that.
Yeah.
I got that.
So I said, let me go buy this, and then I let it sit for another 3 months, and not played it at all, because I was still playing my 3DS.
It hurts
So-
listening.
But I did not. Actually, I had my Switch for over a year, and never opened it.
Right.
Because I was still playing my 3DS, I was still into my GTS trading and, my Wonder Trade and all that stuff on my 3DS.
But that was
Yeah, I
actually
never
quite fun back then.
And then never switched over to
Sword and Shield.
to my Switch.
Yeah.
And then I played it one time, and then, okay, this sounds cool,
Yeah.
And I started going into the internet and then finding, okay, people are streaming. This is how you do, find a walkthrough. It was hard. So
Yeah.
I went to the internet, YouTube, and search for Sword and Shield walkthrough. There were none.
There was nothing, really. There was nothing. There was nothing.
So, yes, it would be a dime a dozen, streamers streaming, their walkthroughs, right?
Right.
Well, you could say, how do you do it for this route or this section for 3DS, for like Sun or Moon. But then when you go to Sword, there was really nothing.
Right.
It was doing walkthroughs. It's like you had to be on your own.
Right.
At the point, And I was like, man, there's nothing on here. So do a lot of reading and just playing the game.
But it's actually pretty cool that you figured it out. By the way, Josie Fabulous and Irvin are greeting you as well.
Hey, how you doing? Yeah, so it's really, it was an amazing, story, just learning to play the game.
Right.
Enjoy, trial and error, frustration.
Right. A lot of errors, actually. So actually, Pokemon Sword and Shield are the games that made us become streamers, right?
Correct,
Do you feel the same?
Yeah, of course. Because I just wanted to know how to do it.
Right.
How are these folks, getting these shinies?
Right.
I don't know how doing it. The first time, they explained it,
And you were like, I don't understand it.
I don't understand it. There's this skip go,
right.
Day skip thing, and the next thing you know, how many days you got to skip? How do you find out how? And then it just started to build my interest as far as curiosity.
Right.
Just learning how to find out how things work.
Right. Did you actually ever do some competitives or do Diamond and Max adventures?
Never went online to do competitive Pokemon.
But why is that?
I just never got it. I just got into the collecting part of it because while my kids were growing up, they did the battling and stuff like that. But for me, I was just a dad, collecting Pokemon stuff.
Cannot imagine a cooler dad than that.
Cards, things like that, plush toys, things, those nature.
Right.
So I never really played actual
games of Pokemon. Right.
I'll have my 3DS. They'll have their 3DS or 2DS. They'll have their Game Boy. I'll have my Game Boy. They'll get their own, Diamond and Pearl or whatever game that was there, and I'll have my own.
Right.
We would never trade. I won't trade in my stuff. Alone, because kids will be kids.
Right. So how do you think generally about hacked mons? What's your opinion about it, or do you deal with hacked mons, and how do you deal with them? Are you trying to avoid them?
I avoid them as much as possible, but it's different the way what people call what I give away are hacked mons, which are not hackmon, because these Pokemons are basically, let's say, if Ness went out to the Poke Center and there was a big event for a shiny Pokemon, right? So you got it, and it was only for that day.
Yeah, right.
I can't get it, right?
Right.
So you would take your save file, given that you have a modified Switch,
right,
and back it up.
Right.
And then you would clone it, or whatever it's called these days, clone it, dupe it, or whatever.
Right.
And then you give it to me. You didn't change the name on there. You didn't change the ID. You did not mess with the moves or anything. It's just a copy.
Right.
And you gave it to me. To me, that's not hacked. Because it's the same. It would be the same thing as the Pokemon Center having 100 of them. They only have one file, and they're basically given out to tens and hundreds of people.
Okay, that's totally legit. That's totally legit, and I totally agree with you here. This also, for me, does not sound like hacking, but just duping in a, let's say, social way. Let's call it social duping. Because you're just finishing the job that they kind of, let's say, messed up, or
couldn't get, or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
I would call it messed up.
Hard to get.
Because why are they giving away mons that nobody else can have anyway? I mean, it's okay to have regional specific stuff, but it's like always Japan only regional specifics. Also in Pokemon Go, it was for quite a long time and stuff. We know that. So I think it's totally unfair and totally legit to do it that way. But I see that in most of the cases from dupes that I've seen, they do so much more than that. There's no, let's say, ethical duping or social duping, but it's just duping because I'm too lazy to get it myself duping, And then they spread the kind of fake mons in the community, mentioning them as legit and getting actually legit mons that people were, fighting for so hard, going Dynamax for 100 times or doing shiny breeding for 5,000 or 10,000 times all manually, and someone just gets that legendary shiny dupe and calls it a legit one, and eventually it comes out it is not.
Well, if it's legit, I mean, if it took me 10,000 tries to go get it, and I dupe it and start giving it away, and somebody else dupe it, well, that to me that would be fine. Is where people.
It's because you're not doing the effort, right? It's not.
Huh?
It's not you doing the effort.
Well, yeah, that is true. There's no effort into that. But the issue what I got is when people would just create out of nothing.
Right.
To me, that's hacking.
Right.
You know, if it's been duped, that's fine because someone did the hard work. Thank you for that. But when people just type in a couple of commands and it comes out, that you know, to me that's borderline, you know, because now there's no fun in that anymore.
Right.
At least there's the fun of it where somebody took the time to dupe it. But when you just create it out of nothing, you know, to me that's just you're taking the fun out of it.
Right.
You know, because there's still some fun into that, you know. But you know, when people, because to me, that's what Game Freaks does.
Right.
They dupe it. There's only one file, and it's being distributed to hundreds of people. So
that's legit. But you know, if it's an event thing, because the event mons are created by them, and only in one form, but the legendary shinies or the mythical shinies or the ultra beast shinies, they are not. You can get them in many different IDs and many different forms, and you can get them anytime, anywhere, even with older games. So I don't get the point why people have to dupe that really precious mon that people put a lot of effort into and make it worthless, you know? You know what I mean?
Yes, because there's a lot of Pokemons out there that are worthless now. To me, that's why, you know, most of the time I do my giveaways. I do a lot of events. People tend to not like it because not all events are shiny.
Right.
But like I said, a lot, you know, if I'm giving out a bunch of 2011 or 2010 event Pokemons for that year, some people were still in their diapers.
Right.
I was not there when these events were going on, or other people were still, you know, probably didn't even know how to pronounce Pokemon back then. You know, 9 years ago, right? And I'm giving them a chance to go get a legit, whatever it was. Could be legendary, could just be any other Pokemon, it could be shiny, to have it. Because we were not there, or, you know, to go get it, like you said. These events could have been in Japan, or, you know, or Europe, or stuff like that, which not everyone gets to go attend.
Right. Like the
but
Moo
now we can go back in time and grab it.
Yeah, I think that's okay. I think that's okay to dupe something that you really cannot get anymore, just to keep it alive, you know? Imagine, like, there would be, like, maybe 10,000 people left who have it worldwide, and nobody knows who they are. Then those really precious event mons are gone. And you're not getting them back in any way. So I think under these circumstances, I think it's totally legit to dupe. So if it's from, let's say, event mons that are like a bit older, I think that's okay. Like maybe earlier version event mons or regional event mons like Zarude. I think that was, let's say, it was fine because it was kind of restricted to GameStop only, and Japan only. And I know there were plenty of people who said, we have no GameStop here, we had no way how to get it. So I think it's fine in that case. What do you think?
I was giving out Zarude 1 hour after the movie came out.
You're amazing, man. Really.
The stream was so busy that day.
I imagine.
Yeah, I had it actually an hour after it came out. You know, I was giving
How did
it
you
out.
even get it that fast in that way?
Somebody got it, and somebody backed it up and created the file, and it was distributed after that. You know, but nothing's changed on there.
Right.
But I had to make sure, nobody modified it.
Right.
Anything like that. So those are, I tell people, when they grab an event mod from me, I said, when you grab it, go check it in Cerebi. Check every single field that Cerebi has, and check that mod you just got from me.
So guys, did you get it? Did you get it?
Huh?
This is the way how to check if a mon is legit or not. You check on Cerebi, and tell us one more time. What exactly do you do?
You go to Cerebi and just say like Zarude event, right? When you go to that, it'll pop up and it'll have that event, or any Pokemon event. It'll tell you that it came out, like let's say for like a Pikachu, it'll tell you the years, what year they came out in, and what the ID, the name, the move set, and the things like that. So
right.
Somebody, especially when you're trading with other people, saying I got this event, check out the actual Pokemon first.
Right.
All its sets and stuff like that, and compare it to Cerebi, because it should have that. It should be that exactly the way it is. It shouldn't be no deviation, And that's how I check. Well, that's how I learned to check.
Right.
To verify it, because there are plenty of stuff out there that I can grab, and then when I check it, when I check some of these event mods claiming that these files are the original event mods, and then I compare to Cerebi, I say, okay, everything seems legit except for the date. I could just have a 2020 when this thing should have been only available from the Met at, right? When I checked the Met at of that particular Pokemon was like 2020, when you should have met it, or the event should have said 2010 or 20 whatever
right.
Year. Said this is created, or they try to create the actual event mod,
right?
Which is that type of package, because it's created, not a actual backup.
Right.
And that's the thing I have with Game Freak, because this is the way they control us. If, like other games, Game Freak let us, let's say you're playing your game, right? You save it.
Right.
So that's a point in time, right? See, Game Freak won't let us do point in time. So you can't then go keep playing. You caught some more Pokemon. Now you save it again. Now you have two save files, right? They
right.
won't let you have two save files, because now you could go back to the first one, right, or the second, or the third,
right.
depending on how. And that's how I look at the way. If I took all 32 of my boxes right now, backed it up,
right,
and gave out all those Pokemon to everyone, and then go back and say restore it back again. So basically, I just duped all 32 of my boxes,
right,
gave it all out, or deleted it, do whatever, but then go back into it and restore it back. See, Game Freaks will not let us do that. That's why they don't let us do cloud backups or any of that stuff, because
that makes totally sense, man. Makes totally sense. Guys, what do you think in the...
It's all about keep us playing the game, right?
I totally agree with you. And I love that concept, actually.
You know,
Guys,
they gotta make money.
in the chat, what do you think about Manong's opinion? He said that the Pokemon company avoids saving the data in a cloud, or making it possible that Pokemon Home would be dupable, so you could, reproduce a huge amount of mons that you have over and over and over again without having that game. Do you think this is legit? I totally agree with him here. Yeah, please go on. Sorry for...
Oh yeah, I mean, those are the things, that Game Freaks control.
Right.
They have to make money.
Right.
And that's the way to make money. And that's the way to make money.
But not only that. Of course, they make a lot of money with that. Okay, I totally agree with you. But not only that, it just makes the game more precious, kinda. It makes it kind of more precious, right?
Yep. Yeah, I totally agree. But like I said, the people that are actually backing up their stuff, that's maybe 1%.
Right.
Because I look at the community, the people who are doing it, there are only 3 million people.
Right.
And how many millions are actually playing the game, just playing it normally?
Right.
It's more than that, So not everyone is ruining the game, trying to ruin it. It's just, but there was this, just like the last thing that they were doing, like the banning thing. I mean, it got to be to the point where there were just too many illegal stuff illegal Pokemons going on. It was just getting out of hand.
Right.
So they kind of put their foot down a little bit, And that's not really putting the foot down either, because they could do worse to everybody. So it was basically we got a warning, to slow it down or not to do it.
Right. And also where they're going to, that the system is not likely to change ever.
No, I mean, for me, what kind of irked me was, for some reason, there was something that happened on my Switch, one of my Switches. I accidentally deleted my whole game.
No! Oh dear, that hurts even listening to.
I deleted my data.
No, how did you do that?
Huh?
How did you do that?
I went in there and deleted it I deleted it basically. So it was an accident, and I'm like, oh man, how do I get? Oh man,
ah, dang it!
I don't have a backup of it, so I can't just restore it. At least my information, because now what I had to go do was get a new ID.
Right.
So I had to start from scratch.
Dang it! Oh man! Cannot imagine anything worse.
All the Pokemon that I had in home were theoretically not mine anymore. Yeah,
Dang
I had the same name, but not the same ID.
Right.
I basically lost my ID number, right? And
right.
Then now I have to get it. Yeah, because anybody could have the same name, but your ID is unique.
Yeah, right. I think this happened to quite a lot of people. I heard that frequently, like once in a week. Ever since I started streaming, once in a week someone said that all his data got wiped. And it's always like, I'm so sorry for you, and I'm so happy for myself that
I should have just deleted the game and then reinstalled it, because the data was still good. It's just I was just maybe sleepy that day or not paying attention. I deleted the data instead of just say delete the game, because you could delete the game. Because that just happened to me the other day again.
Right.
I just, I got an error 202.2060. Basically, it tells me that the last patch for the game is corrupted. So all I had to go do, delete the game, remove it, and just re-download it. But that one time I deleted my data instead of just deleting the game, and that messed me up. I'm like, oh,
Ah, dang.
you know, and I had boxes of stuff that, you know, I haven't moved over to home or anything like that. I'm like, now it's all gone. I'm like, oh man.
It's so much work and efforts you've done. But that's, I think, always the case with digital data, right? Or with digital goods, that you can just lose them because they are not physical. It sounds stupid, but that's actually the case. There's not a backup for digital data. Well, okay, if you have an account somewhere and it's connected to your you know, your ID, your personal ID, then I think it's kind of legit that you can get back to your data. So you have to confirm that it's actually you and identify yourself and stuff. But this is not everywhere the case, because they may misuse your data, which is totally legit. But it's sad. It's sad that you don't have a protection for you know, your precious data that you have struggled with for so long and grown with, set up so, you know, gotten so many months there. So yeah, I don't understand why there's no solution for that.
And that was my first Switch, so that's my first game, right? So it's like, oh man, that was painful.
I imagine, man.
So actually, well, then I started playing the game online while streaming.
Right. I understand.
Why is Manong doing, you know, live play? You know, I'm like, well, I lost all my data, so I gotta go through all the battles again, all the bosses.
Man. Oh man, that hurts.
Training. So here's one of my things that I do, well, starting to go do, but since I hardly get to do it, is like one of my modded Switch, right?
Right.
So I can hunt the den, right? Get it all ready, right?
Right.
Like you do. Do you do one specific mod or random?
No, mostly it's random, mostly. But I can also put it on specific.
So let's say you go to den 192, right? You hunt 192, right? You get it all ready, right? To be for hosting, right?
Right.
Then you save it.
Yeah, that's.
You save it, like say den 192. Right. Whether it's the purple or the red bead, right?
Right.
So you could call it den 92 red or den 192 purple, right?
Yeah, usually it's two different dens, so you have two different den numbers for each color.
So you save it, right?
Right.
Now you have a save file of it. So then you host it. Then you go hunt for the next one. You save that one. But let's say you want to quickly go back to den 192.
Right.
You just restore that file, and you're back to that den. You don't have to hunt it again.
Right. Yeah.
But how much time do you save though? You save a lot of time.
Right.
Sometimes it takes us what?
Hours and hours. Yeah, hours and hours. Every switch, I would say like between 1 and 2 hours for every switch. So the more switches you have, the longer it takes. Just a second.
Oh, that's cool.
They made me do it. Yeah! Look at that, guys! Way better! Why didn't we do it right from the beginning?
I have one too. But that snow is cool.
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
Did the wife make that one?
So no, unfortunately she can't. I bought it from a Polish, sewing company.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah, I love this one. But I love you, Pikachu, as well.
So like what I was saying is, I was trying to do that as my goal, is just collect as much save files den-wise, so that I could just go back on the fly at any given time, so I don't have to go back and rehunt that den.
Right. Yeah,
So-
that makes sense. That makes sense, but that's so much data.
Oh no, it's not.
Are you not
You're not-
copying? Are you copying the data, or what are you doing?
No, basically you're going back to your Switch and just save that particular date. Or you basically, whatever's in your Nintendo save file, right? You're just saving it.
But are the mons legit then?
Huh?
Are the mons legit then? I mean, are you playing through the game every time manually?
I'm not talking about what's in my box.
I see.
It'll save whatever's in your box at that moment. But what I'm saying is, that point in time, right, where you're at Den 192, right? You know, it's the same thing as you went into your in front of that well, right?
Right.
And saved it. That's all you did. You're ready, but you're ready to go, right? At that point, go to your 3 frames and 4th frame and all that.
Right.
You're just ready to start your post. But you save that moment in time, right? And then you go somewhere else. You hunt again. Did the same thing. You save that moment in time. Now
Right.
you can go back to that moment in time over and over again, or
Right.
to another one, or another one, or another one, or whatever, how many you have. Let's say, you did it for all the 3, Charizard, Venusaur, and things like that. Or,
So- So,
your favorite den.
So you're actually finishing the game manually. Then you copy that file to another profile, to another profile, to another profile, and then on
No.
No?
No, you're basically, let's say, on your sub den right now, right? So right before you go to skip the 3 frames, right? You back it up and name it whatever you want to name it, right?
Yeah, you just keep it there.
No, you'll just have a backup of it,
Right.
and then you just keep on playing after that. After you back it up, you host it, right?
Right.
Then you go to another den and do the same thing. You hunt it and you stream it, right? And you share it. Now let's say you want to go back to that previous one, you just restore that one.
I get your point, but how? Are you
Well, you
using?
need a mod. You need
Right.
a mod switch, but basically what I was talking about with Game Freaks doesn't want you to do, or they won't let you do.
Right.
Now you
Right. You need a modded switch in order to get your save files.
You save it, basically. You're saving that moment in time as many times as you want, right?
I get
have
your
as many
point,
as you want.
but
So-
still,
But if all you're doing is streaming death, you're not doing anything wrong because you're not taking any of your Pokemon into your.
yeah, I get your point.
Your-
But this is
your,
still changing the code, right? You're still doing something that is naturally not possible for the game, right? I know where you're going. So this is all about making things easier for a shiny host to not have to, start over and over and over from zero again. I understand that point, but still, it's hacking.
It's not really hacking because you're just backing it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know what you're referring to, but still, it's not how the game is. You cannot do it without further devices, right?
Correct.
So I would still call it hacking.
You need a modern switch for that, but yeah, I was just saying for the streamers, that would be a lot easier for us to go.
Right? Yeah, I totally understand you.
I don't have to keep going back and rehunt it. You know, just go back and okay, I want to, you know, if somebody really wants a den, you know, a particular Pokemon from a den, you could actually go back, you know, really in 5 minutes and go back.
I totally understand you. I think
Yeah,
this
and
is.
pop it.
I think the output is pretty much the same. I think this is just an ethical thing. For me, it's
Correct.
an ethical thing that I say, well, I could do that, and the output is pretty much the same, but I don't want to because I just said no. My ethics here are I'm not using any outward devices to make the game different, even if it doesn't even. Nobody can even feel that difference, but still it's a difference. So I totally understand you, and it would make gaming for a host so much easier, but I think I wouldn't do that.
No, I mean I know a lot of people who does it that way.
Yeah, I know too. I know too. I know a lot.
Yeah, it was just throwing it out there as an idea as far as how people. Because you know, I wonder how the hell did they change dens like in so fast, you know?
Yeah, that's
And-
obviously why.
And I had to find out exactly how they did it, so I said, okay, this is the way they do it. So it's just,
Right.
you know, that's the way my mind works. It's just I gotta find out exactly how it works.
Yeah, I totally feel with you. It makes totally sense. Makes totally sense.
Yeah.
It's saving a lot of pain, but
Oh yeah. I mean, if I don't have to rehunt that same den, I mean, you know, once you get the, you know, the shiny, the square or the star that you want, you know, level 5, because I don't know how, I still haven't found out how people get in level 6. Yeah. Except for Ditto, I know how to do that.
yeah. That might be
So-
why.
You know, I don't know how the heck they could get level 6 IB then. You know, if I find that out, you know, I'll be much happier. I just haven't found out exactly how people have done it.
I think it's still always the host is always the one who, you know, who drives the bus, right? So it's like a school bus, and the host is like the bus driver. So he's the one who brings the kids, the community, the Snom army, the Manong army, to wherever they want to go to. And
Yeah.
if you say no, I'm the bus driver and I prefer to go that way, then I think it's totally legit. It's always the kids deciding if they want to enter your bus or not.
That is correct.
And you're definitely a bus driver I would definitely step into.
Yeah, you know, because a lot of especially going back to the topic of hack mods and stuff, you know, I get that all the time in my stream at least.
Yeah.
Kids are saying, are these legit or, you know, are these hack mods? It's like, well, you know, there's a definition of how,
Right.
like you said, you have your ethical, you know, everyone has an ethical set. They will go past this line or that line, right?
Right.
It just depends on how they look at things. I mean, this is how I look at things.
Right.
You know, we're totally different. You know, and what I see is that I go one step and you won't go that one step with me. You know, it's just the way your ethical views.
Right.
And other people's, like you said, will join me, and other people's will join you. You know?
Yeah, I think
Which is fair.
most of the people just don't care if those are made it the Manong way or the NES Gaming way. I think most of the people just don't care. They just want the shinies.
Yeah, but like I said, some of these shinies are so hacked and so weirded out. I'm like, man, I wouldn't even touch it.
Yeah, I gotcha. So actually,
Yeah.
your shinies are still, they have still a legit root, we can say.
Yeah, yeah. I still have my values. You know, I haven't gone to the dark side.
Right, I haven't gotten to the dark side. Let's say to
Yeah.
the dark gray side.
Yeah, I mean, because there's just so much stuff out there that man, this stuff is, who in the heck? You know, I got like a bunch of event mon files, like I said. I just started checking them, cross-checking them.
Right.
I said, who in the heck made these? You know, a 2-year-old? You know, I'm like, man. I mean, it looks halfway done, but I'm not gonna sit there and correct it.
Right. I'm not gonna sit there and correct it. So, how do you think about, let's say, legit hacked mons that people trade to another bot in order to change the OT, the original trainer name, to their own, and then get it back? How do you think about that?
Well, if they can do it, they're good. Because not a lot of people know how to do it. You know?
I think there are bots that do that for you. They grab your trainer name. I mean, that's sysbot, pretty easy work. They grab your trainer name, and then they put it inside that code, that line of code, and you will have a mon with your OT on it.
I try to explain to some of the, at least on my screen, because in my stream, I'm what's that word? Transparent.
Right.
Where I show them how I hunt.
Right.
When I'm doing it, or when they see the screen flicker left and right because it's doing the day skipping so fast.
Yeah.
And they're asking, what the heck is going on with the whatever switch? Is it having a lapse, or you know?
Yeah, this is actually that glitch, that day skipping glitch.
Yeah, and what's happening is, I'm telling them, hey, I gotta skip, 1,000 frames to get to the next, to that frame to get the shiny for this particular deck, right?
Right.
And I show them, this is how I hunt, and I just put the particular switch offline or whatever,
Right.
So I'm transparent. So when they ask me like hacking questions, I'll refer them. I say I don't do it, but I know where to do it.
Right.
And I've shown them, there are some sysbots out there that will let you actually trade it and then rename your OT. Right. But a lot of them don't know how to follow that. You tell them something. Here's a good one, like today. Missing no.
Right. Yeah, that's a classic one.
Where can I get missing no? Is this and people, my mods will tell them, it's no longer available. I mean,
Right.
it's got patched, right?
Gladly.
Can't get into hack raids anymore, right? And you can't trade them.
Right.
So I tell them, so Google LAN Play, Nintendo LAN Play, right?
Right.
Or, and then search for the Discord servers that are running it.
Right.
Or pay your $5 to eBay because eBay sells it, right? I mean, I'm being honest and truthful, right? So if you go to eBay, and what does it say? You have to have a PC. You have to have this. You're basically going to a LAN Play server.
Right.
You either go the free way of finding one, or you pay somebody that is running it, right?
Right.
So basically, LAN Play is another way that it bypasses YCOM. That's all it does. It bypasses YCOM, and they made a modified sysbot, right? It's a modified sysbot. So
Right.
Instead of requesting a sysbot server, it'll give you a missing node.
Right.
It's no longer YCOM can't check it because you're not going to the YCOM servers.
Right.
You're passing it via the LAN Play connection. And you're using a modified sysbot because the regular sysbot will not let you trade it.
Right.
So it's just another form. I tell them, you can look it up. That's how you do it. or go pay eBay and they'll tell you the same thing, right?
Right.
And that's how transparent I am. If you want to know something, if I know the answer, I will tell you the answer.
Right. So it's like, nah, I think it's totally legit. I mean, it's not a big thing. It's not like a crime.
So you want still available? You want your Psycan, shiny, all that stuff still available. You know, you might get banned, but
right.
But you want a missing no? I mean, it's a tool. This is the way you go do it.
Right.
But I'm not gonna convert my. I'm not gonna turn on land play.
Right.
And I'm gonna convert a sysbot into a modified sysbot either.
Right.
You know. So I still have my ethics at that point.
Right.
Because I've never. I mean, I knew how to host the hack raid dens, but I've never done it.
Right. I think
It was
it's.
a dime a dozen.
It's.
You know?
Ah, by the way, Azura Mira, I think he's from your side. Is greeting you. Says my fellow Manong mods lurking as well.
Hey, hello, how you doing? They're all lurking.
They're all lurking, obviously. I think there's always, let's say, a way around if how far to go or not. So if you don't care about hacking in general, I mean, you say no matter what, I take it, then your playtime for Pokemon will be a month, and then you're out. And this is for every game in the world. My wife had that with Animal Crossing. I told her, darling, you love this game so much. You spent so much time into this. Don't do hacks. I can put it into you for you. I can set it up. But it's don't do it. And she said, yeah, I just want to try. So we tried, and then she put, she imported those, I don't know, those special flowers and whatever. It's just, all that special stuff. And there were so many friends of her in groups that that asked her to send them to her, or to have them as a guest in her on her island. And she invited all of them. They were so excited. They pulled all those flowers and stuff. And she was so busy with those hacked items. And she said, well, and then I noticed, hey, what happened? Are you not playing the game anymore? She said, yeah, I'm not playing the game anymore because you were right. I shouldn't have done that. I messed up all my efforts with all hacks and made that precious game that I had worthless and useless. So eventually, there was like a period of 3 months or so she didn't play the game. I was like, this is not you. You are this game. Eventually, she said, okay, I think I consider to go back to the game, but I will never touch a hack again. And she never did. She only did those amiibo, those NFC chips. And I think this is, this line. This is the borderline where you can say, okay, until here, I think it's legit because getting those, those citizens on your island, to get them, it's kind of almost impossible. So if you really want this person to be on your island, and it means so much to you, and you can buy it anyway in the store, then why not get it that way? I think that's totally legit. But
they have a sysbot for Animal Crossing.
Yeah, and actually I think we used something like a sysbot for Animal Crossing. Yeah, I don't remember how we did it. I think it was for the 3DS game. I think something. And there was some code that you could use to grow. No, I think it was it possible.
I never played Animal Crossing, but yeah. I know there is a sysbot for it.
Yeah, maybe it was the current game, because I think in the last game there was no way to go to. There was no island, so yes, it wasn't the current game, right? It wasn't the current game, and eventually she lost all her fun in the game, and then she got it back. But she started all over from scratch, and she didn't put a single modification into the game, but those amiibos. I think this is okay.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends, But some, there, like you said, there's some people that they don't care.
Right.
They just want it.
Right.
Okay.
I totally agree with you here.
I only have my line. You have your line.
Right.
And, I don't cross it. I don't cross it where I just go all out.
Right.
It just whatever. I don't. I mean, I still love. I love the game. I still play it. If I lost one of my profiles on one game, guess what? I'm gonna have to start playing it again, right?
Right. And then eventually you come back anyway because you just love it too much. But you have, your save file or your data on it is what, it's like your own little treasure. And I mean, when it's with precious work that you've put into it. But when you lose it, it's like you're losing a part of your life and you have to start that over. So yeah, I totally feel with you. I think that thing said, from my side, I think I would have to get myself ready for dinner and breaking my fast since I'm fasting.
Alright.
So it was a lot of fun with you, Manong. Thank you so much for joining in. I hope to have a
co-stream. We gotta do this again and maybe invite some other, streamers out there.
Totally agree with you. I think we should do that too. Maybe we can ask the community what streamer they are looking for. Don't mention HDV or A-Drive or Awesome John Plays. I think they are not going to drop by. We can ask them, of course, but I wonder. But if you have any suggestions, guys, feel free to suggest either on Manong's side or on my side, and we are also going to discuss whom to drop into. And I think we should have some chit chat just like now, talking about current things that are referring to Sword and Shield, or maybe do some competitives if you want to give it a try or whatever.
Yeah, he wants to battle somebody. I don't battle.
I'm not a competitive anyway, don't worry. I'm not that good anyway. But I think this is something that people really, can interact with, But anyways, thank you so much once again. It was so nice to have you around. And hope to see you again in a co-stream very soon. Guys, I'm going to say bye-bye for now. And yeah, stay safe, stay tuned, stay storm. Good night.
Good night.